is up? Today I am back with another tutorial. I actually had a teacher friend of mine asking about vinyls, so I thought I would just do this video up really quick for y'all and for her as well. So I thought I would do this video quickly. Vinyls are super easy, so I'm going to show you how I make them on my silhouette, the two ways that I do it, and then I'm actually going to show how I cut them and then how I weed them and how you put like the plastic over it, or the sticky upper part, I guess. I'll show you guys in the video. So the first way I'm going to show you guys is actually from an image. So I literally Googled free PNG quote. I like to get PNGs because that's the easiest. I found this Let's See the World one. Of course, the other way that you can make this is just by like typing that out in your silhouette, and I will show you. So I just saved that into my downloads, and it is right here. So the thing about PNGs is when you download a PNG, it already has the trace lines on it. So you can see that this is already traced, it's in red. So you could technically just send this to your silhouette just like that, and that's all you need to do. Here, let me show you without the black. Yeah. So here are your cut marks, and because it's a PNG, they're all welded together. So this will cut out and the words will all be together, or the cursive words, I guess, the lets will not be. But yeah, that one's done. So you literally don't have to do anything else. If I were to just go on, let's see if there's one that isn't a PNG. I don't think this one is. This is just for these purposes. Obviously, if you're going to sell these, you have to make your own. You can't just, grab anybody's art. But just to show you what we're doing. So this obviously is a photo. So you can grab your trace tool and you can trace around the writing here. And I would just put it pretty high, so everything's traced. So I do the trace with words because then it'll get all of these middle parts. With anything else, you might just do the outside. Just depends on what you're doing. So here it is. So we have this one here. You have what it takes. Because it's all cursive, they are all together. You don't need to weld anything. Again, you could just take this, send it to your silhouette, and cut your vinyl. So PNGs already have your trace lines. You can add trace lines to an image of some sort, or you can make your own. So you can take your text tool and you can say, we're going to just use like a little teacher quote. Say, teach, learn, grow. So I like the Better Together font. I like my Gen Plans font, and I like my Mama font. So I'm gonna do a few different ones so you guys can see with cursive and with just regular writing. So also with your vinyls, you do not need registration marks because obviously you don't want to print registration marks on your vinyl, or sometimes you even can't. So I use colored vinyl, so I can't. So let's zoom in a little bit here. So the cursive, you can see that they aren't actually attached. So what will happen on your machine is it will cut out this little square-ish triangle shape here. So what you want to do is you want to select your cursive writing, and you want to right click. It's a double click on a Mac, so that's why I had to pause there. And you want to weld it together. So this will make it one piece. So now when this cuts, the word will all be together. There'll be no awkward little squares, triangles. Same with this one here. You want to say weld, and now it's all together as one word. The only thing about that now is if you want to change any of the writing, you have to retype it. So that's the only thing about that. So that is the most important thing to do. If we were going to go, let me just grab, I have a few, I obviously don't know where anything is on my computer. Here we go. So I have a few just like of these things from the Silhouette store. Let's go find like an actual picture. Let's do the peony. Oh, this one's cute though. No, let's do the puppy. Okay. So this guy, same thing. I think it's a PNG from Silhouette, not 100% sure. But when you put it in Silhouette Studio, it already has a cut line around it. So I'm going to get rid of the black so you can see, because if you're just cutting on vinyl, you just need the cut lines. So there is my little puppy. So it is meant to be like this, obviously. That's what it looks like. I think we are going to actually cut this Let's See the World. So I put it right up here, and if you go to like that first screen where you put on your registration marks, I get rid of my print border because we're not printing. I want to see my cut border. So I put it as close as I can to the top left corner so I don't waste any of my vinyl. So we are going to print this one. I'm going to switch to tripod view, and I'm going to show you guys how I cut it and how I weed it, and we will do all of that. All right, so I have my vinyl. I was going to go with just a regular vinyl, but I thought, let's go shiny. Let's just do, this is Opal Hollow, I think. And I have my cutting mat. I am going to line this up at the very, very top left corner of the sticky. So I don't bring it all the way over here, and that's because the cut border just seems to be on the sticky. When I bring it all the way over here, I seem to waste all of that, and sometimes if I have stuff that's further over, it will cut over here. And I actually didn't even measure this to make sure that it's big enough, so I should do that. I just grabbed one of my scraps because I have quite a few scraps. So this one is almost 5 inches by 3.5. So let's see how big our design is. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make our design a little bit smaller because my scrap is a little too short. And I'm just gonna make it like quite a bit smaller so I know that it'll fit. So made our design a little bit smaller. Sorry, I was faced away from you. This is kind of an awkward setup. I'm gonna put my ruler away. So I have our vinyl on the cut mat, very tippy top, left-hand corner. Like I said, I line it up with the sticky, not with the line that you'd usually line stickers up with. And I'm going to switch you around and show you how to put it in the machine. So here's my machine. I do have my light on it. You don't need to have your light on it with vinyl because it's not going to be reading any marks or anything, but you line it up at that second line just like you would sticker paper. I'm going to put it in there. And then I am going to press send once I get the right material. So our material that we want is vinyl. Because I have this reflective kind, I picked the reflective, and it's automatically going to go to a 1 with a force 10 and a speed 5, and that's just what it's set to in Silhouette already. So I leave that, especially if it's something that I know works. This works for me, and the mat does too. The vinyl mat works if you're using like a vinyl mat like this. It's matte, but this one is reflective, so I use the reflective. So I'm going to press send, and it's going to go. It doesn't read. It goes straight to picking the setting. It goes straight in because obviously I don't have registration marks on Silhouette Studio. All right, so it's all done. So you just take it out of the machine. For stickers and vinyls, even though the vinyl won't bend as bad, I do flip my mat upside down and peel it off that way. So our vinyl is in there. Obviously you can't see it because we haven't weeded it yet. So to weed, you're gonna need, well, actually, this might not be the safest. So with Silhouette, they have these tools, this like pick-me-up thing with like a sticky end and this like pointy end. And they also have this guy, which actually is a weeding tool. I don't like this though. I find it wrecks my vinyl. So I do use my X-Acto knife, my craft knife. I don't know what it's called. Because it's got the flat end and this one is like a round pointy end. Sorry, I'm 100% not on camera. Yeah, so I use my X-Acto knife. If you are going to do this, please be careful. Please do not blame me if you get yourself. Seriously. I'm going to switch you around so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so here is our vinyl. So the very first thing that I always do, just so I can see a little bit better, is take off the big giant piece that is around the vinyl. So on the back of the vinyl, I guess you could say. You might want to do this a little bit slowly, especially if it's your first time doing vinyl and you have something like super duper complicated, and especially if you have words and you have any lowercase i's, because sometimes it can just rip up the little dot that's in the eye and you can like lose some stuff. So you definitely want to pay attention to what your design looks like. Oops. Just drop my X-Acto knife. Maybe I shouldn't be holding it while I'm doing this. Okay. And like little ticks like that, little apostrophes. All right, so that's what your outside will look like. I throw this away. Very hard to save those. And there is our vinyl. So obviously in like our E's and our S's and between our TH's and things like that, we have these like middle parts. So I literally just take my X-Acto knife and kind of poke underneath the bottom part. And all these little pieces you can like stick somewhere in a pile and then like throw them out as one. I usually stick them to a finger. And that's just how I do it. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. I'm actually like 100% positive that there's a better way to do it, actually. I lose them all the time, especially if they're small. They'll like, ding, they'll boing right off and like end up in no man's land, basically. I think matte vinyl is probably easier to work with because there's no glare. I find on the reflective vinyl there's a huge glare and it's hard to see. Like it's hard to see where your inside pieces are. So you really have to be like on an angle. Like you can't see my head, but it's quite tipped and I've got the light on it so I can kind of see where those cut marks are. You will dig into your back paper quite a bit. Let's see the world. All right, so there it is. Let's see the world. So you can see all of the holes are out. And that's what it looks like. So I literally just take my little pile and I throw it. Now I have this piece and it's too small, so I will get a bigger piece. So I bought a pack of vinyl on Amazon and it came with this, like, what do they call it? Transfer tape. That's what it's called. It came with this transfer tape and I find this stuff sticks way better to these, but doesn't stick to whatever you're sticking it on. Like it doesn't stick so much to your vinyl that your vinyl is actually peeling up. Like it's not stickier than your vinyl. This stuff is stickier than your vinyl. So I don't love this stuff. This stuff is from Cricut. And it's really expensive. And of course, the first time I bought vinyl, I bought like the extra strong transfer tape, which you just don't need. And quite frankly, you don't want. You almost have to like dull it because it ends up being stickier than the back of your vinyl. So your vinyl's not sticking, but this is like, so it's a balance. So you got your transfer tape. It's about the size of your vinyl here. You are going to take your transfer tape off, get rid of the backing. So you want it like this. It's very hard not to get fingerprints on this. It's just the, you know, the beast, the nature of the beast. Start with a corner And then if you can, try to lay it down like slowly so you don't have to get bubbles and stuff. And then if you have one of these, great. If you don't, use a credit card. I just kind of, especially for this stuff, since it's extra super sticky, I only try to go over the vinyl. Try not to do like the backing because I don't want the backing super extra sticky. So there it is. When you're ready to stick this on, whatever you want to stick it on, you peel up your transfer tape with your vinyl, which again, sometimes the transfer tape is stickier than the vinyl. So sometimes it's hard to do. So you can see the vinyl is on the transfer tape here. So you just peel it up, stick to whatever you want to stick to, and you are good to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I'm sure a lot of you already know how to do it, but maybe just need a refresher or whatever the case. So I really hope this helped you. Let me know down below if there's anything else that you want to see. I'm having a very hard time coming up with videos. So let me know what else you want to see. All right, bye guys.